afternoon, and welcome to the Sports Express. I'm going to be the person that's going to be leading you in this express. I'm Alonzo. Today's topic, we're going to be speaking about a gentleman who had a profound effect on one sport, pretty much by himself over the last decade. That gentleman I'm speaking about is Tiger Woods, and the name of the show today is the Tiger Woods Effect. Only so many certain sports figures come through that can have a profound effect on a sport by themselves, and almost carry it generally alone. You take Tiger Woods for example. This young man was a prodigy before he even hit the golfing world. You're talking about 3 times amateur champion, a player of the year at Stanford. When he came out in '97, the expectations was high. You got to understand, Nike wasn't even in the golf business. They pretty much put a big stock in Tiger Woods to carry them into this business. And they signed him to a $50 million contract in '97 when he first started out. This gentleman, because they believed that this young man was going to take them to new heights. And at this present moment, they have every bit of 8 to 10% of the market share. And they're closing in on it. You're talking about people who normally would be interested in golf that watches the sport when they know Tiger Woods playing. And he also has an unimaginable effect on ratings. When fans and people know that Tiger Woods is in contention on Sunday, the ratings skyrocket. When he's not, they suffer, they plummet. When he's not in the tournament, it plummets. And so does the cost of a ticket to attend some of these events. So let's take a closer look at the Tiger Woods effect. Now in 1985, Curtis Strange was the top earner that year. This guy made almost $550,000 a year, which ain't bad, even in '85. Now you took that in kind of like market rate now, that would be almost $1 million, which ain't bad. But you gotta think about it. The face at that time wasn't Curtis Strange. It was Greg Norman. Greg, aka the Shark Norman. Greg Norman was the face of PGA. And over his career, he won $14 million. $14 million. Which is nothing to sniff about. But think about it. Tiger Woods made $10 million in 2000 just in 1 year alone. That doesn't say that Greg Norman was good, but what it shows you is that the effect that Tiger had on golf in terms of ticket sales, globalization, and television rating, which got them bigger contracts and got golf course sold out when he was coming in. Most people on Sundays, they would say they didn't wonder if Tiger was going to win, but how many or how far he was going to be ahead of the rest of the competition on the court. And you got to understand, in '85, it was kind of like an old man sport. Tiger came in and he brought in fresh, young talent and people who was non-golfers who became interested in golf. He single-handedly brought more minorities than golf ever seen in their life. You're talking about a complete globalization here in the United States with minority and Central Asia and Central America. Understand, golf is in Europe sport. But Tiger Woods was able to do in 15 years what the founders of golf couldn't do in almost 300 or 400 years. And that's linked on to popularity, high television ratings, huge revenue profits. You understand? Now, I think what a lot of people don't understand is when you take a look at Tiger, he wasn't the only one that benefited from this. Golfers now are making more money than they've ever seen in their life. Sometimes you can make $1 million or $2 million in one tournament. Now remember, as I said, in '85, Curtis Strange made $550,000 at the top earner that year. And now here it is, they're making $2+ million a year, $2+ million in one single tournament. They have these huge endorsement deals. And like I said, once again, you can thank Tiger Woods for it. Now, I want to touch on another subject. Whereas, back then you seen a lot of golfers like John Daly. These guys, John Daly, a whole lot of them, they was out of shape. A lot of them was out of shape. Now they're eating right. They have fitness vans out at the courses. They have instructors and golf coaches because they're trying to keep up with the young competition. Whereas back then they didn't have to really worry about that. And like I said, you can thank Tiger Woods for that, because what he did was he's forced the competition to raise their level of game. So we have to give him a huge amount of respect in that regards. Now, a problem that I do have is, you take a look at his cheating scandal. I had a real big issue with that, and I'll tell you why I did. Here it is, what Tiger Woods did. Now, I'm not here to say that I condone cheating. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you have to look at the whole picture as a whole. This man suffered irreparable harm to his career based on cheating. Not that he went out and killed nobody. They didn't catch him with drugs. He didn't sit and do something that was detrimental to kids. Oh, sure, he was a role model, but it wasn't detrimental to kids. It had nothing to do with the sport itself. And they pretty much took that man and hung him out to dry. All these people who made all this money off of him and his likeness turned their back on him. Nike was probably one of the only ones that didn't turn their back on him. They continued their relationship with him even when they were suffering in sales. And you got to give big credit to Phil Knight and all those guys over at Nike. I think that's wonderful. It showed you that they said, okay, I know that Tiger Woods is bigger than this scandal. But you got to understand one thing, whether people want to admit it or not, race played a role in this. Okay? Because you have plenty of athletes or entertainers like David Letterman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, even McElroy. This guy took out wedding invitations on a weekend with his wife, with his fiance at that time, Carolyn, okay, who's a tennis star. And then by Wednesday he decided, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to get married. There was no outrage. And this guy called. He gave her a 3-minute phone call. 3-minute phone call and broke up with her. Broke an engagement over the phone. Didn't he have the decency enough to look her in her face and see her in person? Not one person was enraged about what they did. They wouldn't, oh, poor little Carolyn. They didn't try to console her. They said, oh, okay, I understand what he did. That's fine. Now, you think about it, when Tiger Woods cheated, it had no effect on anybody. What effect did it have on all these people who all of a sudden, everybody became saints and Christians then, that what he was doing then? Everybody wanted to stick their nose in it. That was between him and Ellen. Okay? But the problem was that he had cheated on this blonde, blue-eyed white girl. This white woman, which is most prejudiced and racist people, that's their pride and joy. A blonde and blue-eyed white woman. And so he was pretty much castrated for that. Now, a lot of people want to say, oh, that wasn't the case. No, it wasn't. I just think that him cheating on her, that was just disgusting and all. That has nothing to do with you. You didn't lose anything. You lose no money. You didn't lose no time. You didn't lose anything. And these corporate sponsors, you made more money than you can ever shake a stick at. So the little money you lost, that still don't compare to the money that you did make. What it was that he had to realize that they were holding him to a different standard than the rest of the people. And him being a man of color played a big role in that, okay? Okay, because like I said, you hear about people cheating all the time, and they never went through the fire that he went through. Okay, now, this Havonic, who introduced Tiger Woods to her. To say, oh, she was just a sweet, innocent woman. When she met him, she didn't want to have anything to do with him. She wasn't even interested in him. I'll let him and anybody else who believe that bald-faced lie. That woman knew who Tiger Woods was when she married him. She knew he was wealthy. She knew he was up and coming, and she knew plenty of women who wanted to be with him. Now, I find it hard to believe that this woman got a $110 million settlement from Tiger, okay? And that this was just isolated. But yet, no, here it is once again that after him, she dated a billionaire. And after him, she dated another millionaire. So don't you tell me that this was isolated and this was something random. That this girl was just innocent, because I don't buy that BS. That's a bunch of BS, and you know it. This woman knew what she wanted, and she went after him. She knew what kind of lifestyle that athletes lead, and you have to take that picking. Okay? Now, like I said, the only thing I think is stupid about Tiger is that how do you have almost $1 billion, a big, huge mansion, and all these handlers and bodyguards, and one cell phone that the woman can get into? Now, I'm not saying go out there and cheat and get all kinds of different cell phones. I'm just saying I'm just trying to understand the logic on his behalf. I just think that was just stupid on his behalf. But on the same token, they tried to make like, oh, we know after she broke up with him, she made herself whole again by going back to school and getting her sexy back. No, this woman when she graduated from college, she did it after 9 years. Would you take 9 years from 09? That meant that it was in a 6-year period, which means that she had probably been like 06, 05, 06, and she had started college. So she could go at her own rate. When you're a multi-millionaire, you can go at your own rate. And when she married to him, she didn't have to worry about anything. She had nannies. So she didn't have to worry about, oh, well, I got to keep my kids. There ain't nothing wrong with you taking care of your family. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But don't sit and say that prevented her from being able to go to college. Because there are women who have kids who go to college. Okay, black and white women. Okay, so let's just be realistic over there on that end. Now, like I said, I do think that his effect on golf is no different than Michael Jordan was on NBA. Michael Jordan brought people who wouldn't even normally watch NBA into the folds, watching television, watching to see what he was going to do next. Jeff Gordon, another one. Before Jeff Gordon, most of NASCAR was relegated to Southern Circuit. It was a redneck sport. Jeff Gordon brought corporate America to NASCAR. They couldn't stand him for years. Why? Because he was good. Because he bucked the system, the same system that they complained about now. Most of them NASCAR people are eating off that plate. Thank Jeff Gordon for that. So like I said, you have certain people that come along in a sport that just transcends it. And Tiger Woods did that for golf. Look at him returning this week to play golf. The ratings are up. The ticket sales was up. When he didn't come to the U.S. Open, they were down 61% in ticket sales. In terms of the cost of it. Attendance was down. Television ratings were down. When you go and you check it, you check out golfnews.com, because that's where a lot of my information came from, ESPN.com. You go and check all these stats I'm giving you, and you'll see that the effect that this guy has is undeniable. He has 14 majors. He's 4 off from catching one of the best golfers that ever played the game, in Arnold Palmer. And he will catch it at some point. This guy he's not even 40 yet. And Lord knows, everybody knows in golf you can play for years to come. Once he get it out past his injury, this guy can be a force to be reckoned with. He still has time to have a second career as a dominant player. So I call for action for people to support Tiger Woods. Support him as he come back from multiple surgeries on his knees and try to take his place back as one of golf's top force. And hopefully he makes the Ryder Cup team. I think that his name alone, no different than Derek Jeter making the All-Star team. Sometimes namesake alone will get you into All-Star appearances and stuff of that nature. You know, I think that he's earned a Ryder Cup spot based on namesake alone. I just do. So I look forward to talking to you all next week here on the Alonzo Says Show. I want you to get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, to subscribe to my channel, and also go on to Facebook and Twitter and my website and sound off. Tell me what you think. Now in a few weeks, you'll see a complete different stage as I revamp my show, but we'll still have cutting edge topics that we'll be discussing. So for everybody here at the Alonzo Says Show, have a good afternoon. God bless America, and thank you.